Hey, Mark here. I have a really cool giveaway for you. I have 5 Blu-ray copies of Yellowstone Season 5 Part 2 up for grabs. And if you're interested in winning a copy, just shoot me a message and be like, hey, Mark, I would love to win a copy of Yellowstone Season 5 Part 2 because it's one of the most popular shows on TV, and it's huge. And I really got to know what Rip is going to get up to in this final season. So yeah, if you're interested in winning a copy, just shoot me a message and let me know. Thanks. Yellowstone Season 5 Part 2 is now available on DVD and Blu-ray, with over 2 hours of special features. Generations of blood have led to this. Yellowstone Season 5 Part 2. Own a piece of the legacy now on DVD and Blu-ray. Hello and welcome to Movies, Films, and Flicks. I am Mark Hoffmeyer, and joining me is a man who's going to be eating a Nacho Grande platter for the majority of this episode. It's John Levigood.
I can't remember being like disgusted and envious of eating something at the same time.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you something. Pound for pound, this movie features the most smacking of food I think I've ever witnessed in my life. And you watch the menu, you watch Chef, you watch movies about cooking, Burnt. No one smacks as much food as they do in this film. I mean,
I can only think of one that beats it, and it beats it by a lot.
what?
The Substance.
Oh gosh. Yeah,
Dennis Quaid eating his shrimp
yeah,
is
pound.
like, and then Demi Moore eating all the turkey
Yeah.
and all the stuff. I mean, these were brilliantly grotesque.
The sound design on Dennis Quaid's eating just, but like he's eating this nacho platter for 5 minutes, and then there's this 8-minute oneer where they're just going in the second half of Death Proof, where everyone's just smacking food for 8 minutes, and I just mute it and I read the subtitles because I deal horribly with smacking, John. And so, like when there's a movie where people just smack gum the whole time, I can barely stand it. But yeah, this is a. But yeah, so if you hear John crunching and munching and just sucking his fingers, it's because he has a Nacho Grande platter. Imagine.
I was eating that way today. My wife made a avocado dill egg salad
Oh, that
for
sounds
dinner.
great.
Oh, dude, and I was like, I like a 12-year-old in a cartoon or like Chunk from Goonies. I'm like smearing my finger across the plate at the end. And just, oh,
Did you just have your face in it?
oh, it was so good.
I mean, listen, those nachos look great,
They
but just
did,
watching Russell eat them. I mean,
dude, and licking his fingers
I would leave if I was sitting next to. So if I'm in a restaurant and someone's eating like that, I'm moving over. I'm sorry. I'm like, hey, it's nothing personal. Stuntman Mike. I've never seen anything that you've done, but I know you've done a lot because you just look like it and you got the jackets. But I can't listen to this, man. Enjoy. I'm gonna go somewhere else. I'm gonna put something on the jukebox and just
you
shake
don't
my
want
hair
to
around.
you don't want to listen to him eat. You don't want to listen to him explain all the things he's done that you never heard of.
I'm gonna go sit next to Jungle Julie and just get insulted the whole time. That sounds better. And buy him chartreuse.
That's
John,
like one of the only positive statements I've ever heard of chartreuse in my life is Quentin Tarantino just blowharding about it.
you know what's funny? There's a show, I think it's called Enlisted, but someone's like, "Oh, it's my turn for shots," and so they went and bought shots, and everyone just thought it was vodka, and they all drank it. And it was gin, and gin's lovely, but when you're expecting just like a vodka shooter, and you slam a gin, you're not really expecting it, and she just goes gin, and everyone's like, "Woo!" Because I love me some gin, but when you think you're just going to be shooting something, and it's a beefy gin, that's a different world right there, I would say. So it's kind of like those chartreuse shots.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that chartreuse. I really don't. I'm not.
Warren, he's a maniac, isn't he? Hey, Warren,
It's such.
what does he do? He's a stuntman. He's stuntman Mike. What does he do? He's a stuntman. Stupid line, but I love it. So, John, every 25th episode, 400, 425, 450, 475, 500, 525, we cover a Kurt Russell movie. This is the first Kurt Russell film that we've covered where he is just a straight up villain. So, in used cars, he's a slimy used car salesman. In Escape from New York, he's an anti-hero. In The Thing, he's a loner. Big Trouble in Little China, he's a blowhard. Overboard, he lies his face off, but it's a rom-com and everyone lies in rom-com. So he's just a normal dude per the rom-com. Like in
Especially in
Tango,
the 80s.
like in Tango and Cash, he's just a cocky cop. Backdraft, he's a stern brother firefighter. Stargate, he's all business with a secret. 3,000 Miles of Graceland, he's a thief, but he's a thief with a heart of gold. Dark Blue, he's a dirty cop, but he's not like outright evil. Then there is, let's see, The Hateful Eight. He's a bounty hunter blowhard. So this is the one, John. Here's a couple though. In Guardians of the Galaxy 2, he's a celestial, wants to destroy the world, but he's a god. So it's kind of like they're playing on a whole different ballpark than we are. If you're
But
if you're
to
a
be
literal
fair,
planet.
if his son had not rejected him, that could have gone a different way. We
Yeah.
really saw what happens when a god, well, unfortunately doesn't get their way. But he thought he was going to get his way. He didn't think he was going to have to manipulate the world or threaten the world to get his son to love him and want to hang. He just expected his son would want to hang. And he was so upset, basically, that he didn't.
Yeah. And then he becomes a planet and it gets ugly. But here's the thing. He killed a lot of women. He, to have those kids, but he's a god. So I kind of feel like that places him on like an immortal celestial being. I feel like the rules are a little different.
Well, the movie that did that best, I think, or really it's the original comic book, and then the movie parrot obviously had the line, was Dr. Manhattan
Yeah.
from The
Yeah.
Watchmen. Like the smartest man on the planet means no more to me than the smartest cockroach.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
it's like you're just a thing. Like we don't feel badly when we step accidentally on an ant.
Mm-hmm. No. So yeah, so we wouldn't call him a straight up evil villain in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
I would not, or at least it's like to him he's not. Whereas in Death Proof, he knows he's a bad guy.
He even breaks the fourth wall, John, to let us know he knows. So okay, and then also there's a movie called The Deadly Tower where he plays Charles Whitman, who's based on a real shooter from Texas. Yeah, the guy had like a long troubled past and was like in the military. He ended up killing his wife and shooting people, but he's like, I don't think he's playing this is just a serial killer. Like there's no backstory to this guy. He's a horrible human. So I think with Charles Whitman, you look to his past and like all of his diagnoses, and I'm not saying he's right or wrong, but there's more gray to Charles Whitman and his portrayal.
He's not well.
Yeah, exactly. He is not well.
He doesn't choose to do bad things. He's not well, and it's almost like this is the only way to shut up the voices. That's not what that movie is, but it's like
absolutely. Yeah, so he's not there. So this one he's just a serial killer, and he's happy about it, and he likes it, and that's the way he gets his goo off. John, changing the subject, or if you want to keep on this, but in the bar, there is Jack Burton's sleeveless T-shirt. I don't know if you noticed that, and I want to ask you a question: if you could have 3 pieces of Kurt Russell, like Kurt Russell character movie wardrobe, framed in your office, and you have to do it, which 3 pieces of his like Kurt Russell memorabilia would you have framed in your house?
Well, I don't know how easily I can frame it, but his hat from The
Tombstone.
Thing.
Oh, oh yes, yeah.
His hat from The Thing.
Oh, that's perfect.
I mean, and I obviously I think anybody asked this is going to pick the tank top from Big Trouble in Little China.
Yeah.
And his gloves from Escape from New York.
That's amazing.
No, his eye patch. His eye patch. I want the eye patch.
Oh, that's good.
I didn't even think of that at first, but yeah, I think those are my quick from the gut 3. What are yours?
I mean, I kind of want to do the eye patches from the Escape movies and Captain Ron, but I think ideally, so what I would do is the hat from The Thing, the hat from Big Trouble in Little China, his trucker cap, and then the hat from Tombstone.
Oh,
Because
or his coat from Tombstone
that's
too.
like a
That was
good that's like a good theme though. Just three
yeah.
hats. Like whose hats are those? Kurt Russell. That's a Kurt Russell hats. Yeah, the Thing, Tombstone, Big Trouble in Little China hats. Like that seems fun to me. I like that. I
Okay,
like
wait.
that.
All right, totally shooting from the hip, unplanned. What would be your three things that you would want to have as props in your house that are things that Kurt Russell characters broke in movies?
That he breaks. Okay, the computer.
You
Eh,
mean from the thing?
Yeah,
That's literally the first thing I thought of.
yeah. I'll take that. All right, so that he breaks. So I'm taking the computer. Hey, what's that, Mark? Oh, it's the computer that whiskey gets poured into. Let's see. What else does he break? Backdraft. Does he Tango and Cash? Does he break Big Trouble in Little China? I would take. He shoots a hole in the ceiling with his gun. I would take that plaster that fell onto his head and knocked him out because he broke the ceiling. Right? Does that count?
Sure. Mark, I didn't put any thought into this. I just thought of the computer and
Okay.
I wanted to ask.
Okay. So I got the computer. I got the debris that he shoots out that lands on his head. And then let's see. Man, he wrecks some good stuff in Tombstone. I would take. I think he shoots Powers Booth in that movie. Does he shoot Powers Booth? I would take the shirt that the squib exploded out of because he destroyed the
Oh,
shirt.
okay.
I like that. Does he break any sticks in Miracle? I don't think he
I
does.
don't think so.
I would take the tray of nachos from Death Proof.
Because he broke his teeth. Like I feel like you took one of my picks, the first thing I thought of. I don't even know where else to go with this. I
Yeah.
didn't have enough locked in my head to make anything of it. I just wanted to ask.
I would need the whiskey too, though. Like they would have to be together.
Well, no, it's not, and it's not just it's like it is the chess wizard computer. It is the chess wizard computer.
Yeah, I want that. Okay, so you're inviting out, you're going to like Texas Chili Parlor and you're gonna eat nachos with three Kurt Russell characters. It's gonna be you and three Kurt Russells. Which three are you picking from the movies?
But it's like legit their character.
Yeah. And you just get to hang and eat nachos.
I mean, it's absolutely Captain Ron.
Yeah. And do you think Overboard would be good time? Like would he be
That was my next one. Yeah, that was the next one,
yeah.
and then the third, it might be Mr. Nobody.
Oh yeah, with this Belgian beer.
Yeah,
So
these are all these are all like fun people.
man, wait, so you're hanging out with Dean, Captain Ron, and Mr. Nobody, just drinking beers and eating nachos in an Austin eatery?
Yeah, I think so. And you know what's funny is that now that I'm thinking about it,
The Belgian beer.
before people were onto him from Dark Blue seemed like he could have been a fun guy too. Like early in the movie, before the heat was on him. Um,
Do you think I think Executive Decision would be a fun party because he seems like champagne and just kind of kicking it.
I mean, a little uptight though. I don't know.
Yeah,
So
that's
maybe when he
true.
loosens up, that could be. That could be.
Listen, I don't want Hangman Ruth. That would be horrible. I don't want to hang out with Ego. Santa Claus. I don't know. Sheriff Franklin Hunt from Bone Tomahawk. No, definitely not Robert Ramsey from Poseidon. Not Curtis McCabe from Vanilla Sky. I think we did it, John. Like Snake. I don't know if I'd want to deal with him. I don't know if like Wyatt Earp. Nah. Jack O'Neill wouldn't be fun. Yeah, I think you did it. Nah, Jack would just dominate the conversation. Would you want to drink a beer with Jack Burton?
I think so. But if you had the right people around,
Yeah.
like if you had Mr. Nobody there while he's running his mouth, Mr. Nobody is like leaning over into your ear saying something funny about what he's doing, you know? And
Okay.
and really, I think that your overboard is going to be kind of competing with him for attention,
Yeah.
and you get the entertainment of watching these two clowns like try to entertain.
Yeah, I like that. So then we got, all right, all right. That's a
You know, it would be
fun.
a very different guys' night out would be like you get Backdraft,
Oh, bull.
Stargate, and The Thing.
Oh man, that'd be brutal. Yeah, I don't want that night. Would you want that night? What about
Think
who's the
so?
worst three?
Probably those three.
Yeah,
Oh,
because
you
you
like just the worst three? Okay, Soldier, because he's not going to drink. He's just going to sit there and judge you.
don't
It's going to be Soldier. Uh,
just smacking
um,
protein down.
Ego, because you're going to feel like
Horrible.
you have to laugh at everything he says, even if it's not funny, because otherwise he's going to ruin your universe.
Yeah,
Um,
and
and
stuntman Mike,
who?
stuntman Mike.
Yeah, maybe actually, because you know what's funny about him, that character, by the way, I didn't bring it up. Something was interesting about him as that character, because while he's playing a charismatic character, he is playing a guy who's trying to be charismatic more than a guy who is charismatic. Whereas every other Kurt Russell character to me just is charismatic
Yeah,
when he wants to be. Whereas this character actually didn't seem like a charismatic person. It felt like someone who was good at choosing to be charismatic, someone who is acting charismatic, and someone who isn't always as convincing as he thought he was at being charismatic.
yeah, that would be a nightmare because he's just trying to be. No, no
Did you
thanks.
feel? Do you now that I've said that? Do you think that you kind of saw that as well, or is that just me? Because to me, it felt like at times he was not coming off as charismatic in ways that I know is had to be deliberate on Kurt Russell's part with the
Yeah, I
character.
mean he's a psychopath, and he's just intimidating, and he's playing a role in there. Obviously, he's there to kill people, so he's very fake. So yeah, he's got to be trying to be something.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about real quick? We forgot to mention him, but what about Rudy Russo from Used Cars?
Oh, he'd be fun. He'd be fun to go out with too. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, you know what? You could swap him out for maybe Overboard.
Yeah, all right, yeah. Because he's a dad. Like like he's worried. He's kind of so Rudy, Captain
He'd be a good
Ron.
lively one.
There we go. The short tie. Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. And also, John, where does this rank and like So I read this Game Ran article, and this is number two. Oh no, Stuntman Mike is number six in Kurt Russell's all-time top hair roles. Do you agree with that?
I mean, for my gut, I want to say no, but I mean, I realize I got to think about that a little bit, but I, top six. So you actually sent me an image. I'm gonna
Yeah.
go pull up this is
All
like
right.
a poster with
So
silhouette faces, and it's just the hair and or facial hair, folks, that he sent me.
it's
And if
it's
I'm thinking,
got to be the thing, right? Just because of the beard. I
oh,
mean,
The Thing, both of the Escape movies, Tango and
that has the most
Cash.
volume. I think Tango and Cash has the most like hairspray because it's
I don't
very
know,
fluffy.
but they're just the looks that I expect from Kurt Russell, though. Like that even though there's slightly different lengths here and there, like I think I think it's that hair that even goes so far as like the ego hair and the Father Christmas hair and the why can't I think the
Yeah.
Hateful Eight hair, like him with that long shag. He just seems so natural to me in that, and almost anything else just doesn't seem to be.
What about his sky high hair? Because that's very dad superhero hair. That's quite rare
I don't know
for
if
him.
I mean that's kind of like a cleaner cut version of his classic shag,
Yeah.
though.
Tequila Sunrise, he tried to Pat Riley it. That's a very slicked Russell hair. We've never really seen that before. So if you're okay, what's your top five hairs? Just I'm gonna go Tango and Cash because of the volume. and then I'm gonna go Captain Ron because it's just long and kind of greasy. I'm gonna do Thing because that was his first bearded role, and it proved he could rock out the beard. And then I will do Backdraft because he looks super clean cut with that. And I think that's four. And then my fifth, it's gotta be like, so Tombstone, he had a good mustache, right? Good mustache, solid mustache work in Tombstone. But it wasn't until his like 2015 with the Hateful Eight and Bone Tomahawk where he really had a mustache. So
The
I'm gonna
huge
so I'm
mustache.
gonna go with I'm gonna go with Bone Tomahawk as my five, my fifth. So I
Like
got a beard, I have a mustache, I have short, I have volume, and then I have like the first beard. I'm happy
I'm
with that.
I'm I'm clearly classic biased. It's like The Thing, Escape, Big Trouble in Little China, and like Overboard.
Yeah. I mean, Elvis is good hair, but he's mimicking that. Oh, Overboard's good hair. He's one of the best. Do you think he's a top tier coiffed guy? Do you
Sure.
think I mean, do you think he can match up with Cruz? I think so.
For hair.
I think the versatility of his hair and the fact that he can grow a beard makes him tier one facial hair.
His facial hair is top notch. Yeah.
Yeah.
There are few people who have ever impressed me so much with it. That's an interesting thought, actually. Like, think about this. What other people have ever so radically impressed you with their own on-screen facial hair? Like, one for me, even though it's like the antithesis in style, is John Leguizamo as Tybalt in
Oh
1993 or
yeah.
94's Romeo and Juliet. It had so many of the fine lines, like he was fresh from the barber, all these weird, like not weird, but a lot of architecture in the line work of his sideburns to his beat to his little thin goatee thing. Like that was interesting. Like there aren't you can see good beards, but there aren't a lot of times where you're really taken aback like you are by some of these Kurt Russell mustaches.
You know, didn't we make a joke that his hateful eight mustache could choke you? Like the hangman, he hung you with his mustache. Like that's yeah. I mean, I mean, we love Selleck's mustache and Sam Elliott, but that's
Sam
just
Elliott,
kind of
yeah.
like that's just them. I think they were born with mustaches, the two of those guys. Nick Offerman's mustache, great, but none of them have the versatility of the Kurt Russell hair. Brad Pitt looks good bald and he looks good with the long hair, but he's never gone like, I don't think he could grow the facial hair. Cruz can't. I don't think anyone matches Kurt Russell, John.
I'm gonna give you one just because of the dirtiness of it though. Castaway, Tom Hanks.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That was a really good. But it's like it's think about it. We're bringing up the point though. It's sticking because I didn't know how hard it would be. There are so few times that facial hair like really stands at like wow. Whereas with hair, so people nail it in all sorts of ways. The facial hair, that's a more unique. Well, I'm not even going to call it a skill, really. It's just a genetic gift if you can grow something that looks that good.
Oh,
Or in
well,
Tom
like
Hanks's case, so scraggly.
I'm saying Kurt Russell's got it. Kurt Russell's got the win. Stuntman Mike is the first straight up evil dude that Russell's ever played. And it's
Yeah.
interesting. And you know what I like about him? Stuntman Mike's the bully. He bullies Rose McGowan when he puts her in that box and kills her, and the other ladies don't see him coming. But I love when he gets shot and he just becomes just the biggest bitch. And
Oh
he's
yeah.
just I'm sorry, I'm sorry. And then he's screaming. He's like, "Don't grab my right arm, it's broken." And then he just gets knocked out. But I love and that's what I love about Kurt Russell, John, is that like he goes from this really maniacal fourth wall breaking serial killer to just the biggest wimp. And I think that's a credit to not only Quentin Tarantino but Kurt Russell for playing it like he did. I guess I watched an hour behind the scenes doc, and I guess Kurt Russell went the extra mile with his screaming and wailing like a little punk, and it just made the ending much more satisfying. But you know what, John? I hadn't watched this movie since um yeah, probably '09, '07, maybe when I rented it. I thought this movie was an hour and a half, but I ended up watching the almost 2 hour international version that didn't come attached to Grindhouse. So I thought I was sitting down for like an 80-minute movie and I ended up having a 2 hour film. Is that and then what did you think
Yeah,
about the rewatch?
2 hours seven. Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think about the rewatch?
So okay, so I'm pretty sure that I've never seen this sober until my rewatch. I think that I probably saw this, uh, like after a night out, and then you order a pizza and you watch a movie at home until like 4 in the morning because that's what you do in your early 20s. But I feel like I was watching it for the first time, even though a lot of things looked familiar. I felt like I remembered only gifs, if that makes sense. And so I'm seeing like these 25 gifs turn into scenes, but it truly felt like I'm watching it for the first time. And boy, I this is absolutely like my least favorite Quentin Tarantino movie. It's absolutely my least favorite Kurt Russell movie. I enjoyed parts of it, but overall, this movie is not for me. Um,
Tarantino even says it's his least
like,
movie. Like
but he
he,
can't like we were talking about the annoying nacho eating though. I was annoyed by the nacho eating, but I liked being annoyed. Like it's set up for me to like not liking it. And like things like that I really liked. Things like his bullying I really liked. The first car homicide, multi-homicide scene I thought was awesome with the leg flying off. So there are a lot of things about this movie I enjoyed. I really want to make that clear. But overall, this really wasn't, I don't know, this really wasn't a me kind of movie.
I really enjoyed Jungle Julia, like with her hair. I think she had the most personality of the first group, and I also liked Arlene or Butterfly. But you could have cut Eli Roth out. You could have cut that whole like smooching scene in the rain. All those could have gone. I like Kurt Russell's talks with Rose McGowan, and I like him naming all the movies. But but yeah, it's I think the movie comes alive. I mean, the whole point of this was, you know, Tarantino met Zoe Bell, the awesome stunt person who stood in for Uma Thurman on the Kill Bill movies. He's like, I'm going to write you a movie because he loves car chase movies. He's like, I'm going to do this. So she gets a call later, and he's like, you're starring in this. So I think the movie comes alive when she's on that hood because there's a certain beefiness and like practicality to seeing that. And there are some shots where I was genuinely just thrilled. And I love when Zoe Bell gets tossed from the car, then she just springs up and then they go kick the shit out of Kurt Russell. Like I enjoyed that part. It was a nice twist. But yeah, this is a movie that, you know, I probably won't revisit for a while just because there's a few parts where it comes alive, I think. But I think the 87-minute one might be a little bit of a better watch just because it's a lot more lean, if that makes sense. And you just want to get to the 20-minute car chase.
Well, I'm going to assume that's correct. So the only thing I have in a sober memory is the long one.
What are the
It,
gifts in your brain? What are the 25 gifts that were in your brain?
oh, well, like the girls punching him at the end.
Yeah.
The severed leg flying off into the air. Him the first time that he like slams on the brakes on Rose McGowan. Quentin Tarantino, even though it's a vague gif, I didn't really remember what his role was in the bar. I just remembered him being like a braggart, just a total blowhard.
Which he's good
A
at.
lot of a lot of the girls, a lot of even like the opening butt shots that almost smack of an even like the butt shot from Texas Chainsaw Massacre on
Yeah.
steroids, where it's longer and 85 angles and five girls and three scenes back to back in the opening 10 minutes. I remember a lot of that. I remember a lot of the girls bantering together. So it's like things like that are the gifts in my head.
Okay. I have a question. So this is your least favorite Tarantino, least favorite Russell. But if you were tasked with writing an article like the 5 best things about Death Proof, what do you think you would write? Like, what are your favorite bits that you somewhat enjoyed? They don't even have
So
to
again,
push the
like
needle
like
that much.
like the nachos, right? It drives you nuts. You had to mute it, but like but still, it does a good job of it. It's like the character that you hate, but you enjoy hating the character. That's what that scene was for me, of him eating that way, licking his fingers, and just all the messiness of it, and hearing all the smacks, and just ugh. Not a lot of movies do that well. Not that a lot of movies do that in general.
Or
Um,
need to do it.
right, but there was definitely that. Again, obviously the first car compound homicide, especially when the
Oh
car,
yeah.
when he's driving over the hood and goes through the hood of the car, and you just see the tire like spinning on the victim's face. Like, it's just a good horror gif, if you will. It's the kind of thing that I like. um Again, him getting shot and whining about it, even before that, him at the side of the road, right when they skid off the road,
Oh
he's like,
yeah.
oh my god, girls, that was so fun, wasn't that a good time? And he went on for legitimately, I want to say, 60 or 90 seconds of constant dialogue,
Hmm.
just all exclamations with pauses, but like just about how fun that was, and oh my god, that was amazing. Da, da, da. So that would have been one of them, and honestly, the simplicity of, what's your name? Stuntman Mike, that's your name? Yeah,
Yeah.
Stuntman Mike. So if I go ask him over there what your name is, what's he going to tell me? He's going to, you go ahead and ask him, hey, what's this guy's name? Stuntman Mike. Like,
What does he do?
he's a
He's a-
stuntman. So I mean, those are probably my five moments. I just thought that they were all done really well. And in a way, I don't know if this is a fair criticism, or if this is just my gut response to a lot of the movie. But those scenes all seemed so good to me. And a lot of this movie did not seem as good as its good scenes were. I realize that sounds silly because I'm saying the good scenes of the movie were better, but they felt like they were from a different movie, written differently, cut differently, and directed differently than the scenes in between. Not just that these were the highlight scenes. But like, again, you were talking about like the kiss and the umbrella and the rain scene. Like, that scene, even though the style of writing was the same, the quality felt so poor to me and so forced. Like, a lot of it felt forced. That's just it. Other than like the main scenes, a lot of this movie felt like it was being forced down my throat in a way that wasn't good.
It's kind of interesting where you almost, I wish I hadn't seen a trailer for this film, because when you first are introduced to Kurt Russell, he's kind of charming. You kind of like him, but then he has that big switch where he's like left or right. And she's like, right. He's like, yeah, two directions. I probably could have done it faster. Then he just straight up brains her in the car. But you knew he was the villain already in the film. So the first half, when you're watching the first, in Austin, Texas, you know the switch is coming. And so I do think it's an interesting thing where they establish him as Kurt Russell, super charming, but then he's evil, and then he's just a complete punk. But you kind of know that's going there. So I think the thrill for me is just watching Zoe Bell on that car. Like, I think when like you see just like how, sometimes when you see stunt people in action, you're just awed by their movements and like body control. That I really liked. But yeah, I don't know. Kurt Russell's character, I didn't really buy into him until the fourth wall break. And then when he just starts screaming like a little punk, that's when I was like, okay, this is fun. But if I had to pick five moments too, I like the scene, the Hold Tight, when the song is playing by Dave D, Dozy, Beaky, Mick and Titch, when they're in the car jamming out, and then Kurt Russell just smacks them. Like, I love that song. I remember just being like, yeah, this song rules. Um, yeah, yeah. I mean, I like that they flipped it on him, and I like that they were part of the stunt unit, like what Union of New Zealand, chasing down Kurt Russell in his car. But yeah, that's I think I've always been more drawn to Planet Terror of the two, just because it's zombies, and there's so many more memorable visuals, I think, in that film than this one. But still, it's kind of fun to watch Kurt Russell do this. Like, it's fun. I think Tarantino knows his strengths, where he's a super charming guy, but then he plays that. And then Kurt Russell's, what I like about Kurt Russell? He's not afraid to kind of make himself look dumb. How many movies has he just kind of like a breakdown? he's the blue collar guy who can't do things. I think in other films he's not as successful. So I kind of enjoy that. Um, and also it started off his what 3 films with Tarantino, and that kind of helped out his career. So I dig that. But yeah, this is not. This was I because I didn't remember so much of this. Yeah, I think also too I like when she's shaking her hair with the jukebox, Jungle Julia. That's just a good shot. And Tarantino himself said that he wanted to be more of a leering bastard in this movie. He said in other films he's much more respectful, but he said in this one he just wanted to be gross and leering and just ogle the ladies. But it's still, I don't know. This is it's definitely an oddity in his. Do you think you would take it back if you could,
That
John?
is a good question. I'm only gonna say no for the whys and hows that this movie was made and not the product, you know? Like it started out as these trailers, these grindhouse trailers, and then he made a movie out of it, and that's kind of cool. And like the making a movie for Zoe Bell, that's kind of cool. Like I don't think so. I think that this is just one of those things where you say they can't all be bangers.
Yeah, they can't. Yeah, they can't all be banger. I mean, there's stuff to like, and you don't. I think he gets a pass on this one because it was so experimental. Like I think he and Robert Rodriguez were like, "Hey, let's make 2 grindhouse films and put them on a double bill." So I don't think this was a. Does that make sense? I don't think people look at this one as like one of his lesser films because they know it was an experiment. Do you think it? Do
Sure,
you
I
know what I
mean,
mean?
even in the editing, they're making it seem like a bad cigarette burn cut in a '70s, film house.
Yeah.
So like, I was really sitting there. What, like, is there something wrong with my cassette tape? This isn't a cassette tape. Like in the beginning when the girls are talking.
But it's still, I don't know. There are moments to enjoy, but I think I would rather watch this on the double bill with. But I mean, there's also a reason why I haven't really revisited this because I think you know what also too. Planet Terror is there's a lot to it, but it seems just more focused. Zombies, and then you got to fight zombies. This one is kind of like a hangout picture. You know, he wanted to make like a straight slasher film, but then he also has these long expository dialogues. He introduces people halfway through, kills them. He introduces other people. I like that he flips the script on Kurt Russell, but there's just it's never that. It's not the car chase is lights out. Like I love the car chase, but yeah, this is a movie where I know it has a lot of fans. I guess even I would give it a break, John, because it's part of this grindhouse thing he made. Like, I think it was an experiment, right? And I think sometimes when you're experimenting and you go wrong, not or you're not as. I think he tried to make this movie, but he also said that he was a little too. I know I'm talking a lot here, but when he was talking about this, he's like, yeah, he's like, I don't know what Robert and I were thinking. We're gonna make like 3+ hours fake trailers, stitch it together. We're gonna release it at a bad time. We're gonna expect audiences to stay, and it's gonna be over 3 hours long. He's like, so I think we were a little inside, like we got a little too film nerdy on this one. So it's still a good time, but it's definitely an outlier, I think, in his career.
It's funny if I didn't know any better, I would have said there's no way that this came out after Dusk Till Dawn, for example. I'm not going to pull Pulp Fiction. That's like, as far as I'm concerned, a work of art of his. But like, but how did yeah? I'm a little surprised that this came out after Dusk Till Dawn. It felt like a lot of the scenes that came out well, I just thought they were like good lightning in a bottle, and the scenes that don't come out well felt like he's not that good at this.
Yeah.
Uh, I don't know how to reconcile that for what I know that he had actually made before this, and it's a
Do,
lot of good.
do you know what worried me a little bit? So I was in my backyard working. I did this big thing in my backyard. And so while I was doing that, I was listening to a bunch of documentaries about this and video essays and just learning about it. And during the making of this, everybody just had really positive things to say about it, about how great the shoot went. And even Tarantino's like, I haven't even watched this movie. I know it's the greatest movie ever made, like the greatest car chase movie ever made. So when he was making Kill Bill, he said he went insane. He's like, I shot that for 100 days and I just wanted to go home. He's like, I had no life. I had no friends. He's like, there were days on that movie where I was just grumpy and I didn't want to be there because he's like, it was such a huge shoot and I was so tired of it. And the days were hard and everything was hard. So I think when they made this one, he got the actors he wanted. Everyone wanted to be in it. He got all like the stunt crew on this, John. Like he had just legends of of the stunt community and some of the best drivers ever, that like as far as like stunt drivers. So it seemed like this was one where he just sort of had an easy shoot. And so when he's like, yeah, this is gonna be the greatest car chase movie there, this seemed like there's a lot of confidence going on there. And I think maybe sometimes that doesn't equate for normally like great movies. Like it
Sure.
was just, this was great. We had a great time. Everyone was happy. This is gonna be awesome. He's like, I got a great crew. And everyone was just really complimentary about the movie. But I don't know. Sometimes, you got to suffer a little bit. Like he suffered making Reservoir Dogs. Like Hateful Eight, everyone was cold all day making that thing. Kill Bill was a nightmare to make. Like just the amount of work that go into this. But this seems like something more focused and more relaxed. And maybe that's why it didn't totally succeed. Nobody asked why on this film, or should we? And I think both of them were hitting so hard. I mean, the Kill Bill movies were giant. Robert
Mhm.
Rodriguez was coming off of Sin City. He was coming off of Spy Kids, The Adventures of Shark Boy and Lava
Vikings.
Girl, but those were big. So like he had a lot of cash in the bank, Rodriguez, and Tarantino had a lot of cash in the bank. And I think they were like, you know what we should do? We should make a 3+ hour long film that pays homage to grindhouse cinema. And I love that, but I think they spent too much money on it. And I don't think anybody ever like second. I'm happy. Listen, I'm happy they made these movies, but I don't think they ever thought like the why or the how or like why are we making this and who is this for? And I know these movies have massive amounts of fans. They have fans, but I think the resulting quality of these movies is like no one saw like I think even Tarantino says it now that both of them probably were a little too, they didn't ask, should we be doing this? They just, so I think that's why the quality isn't great because there was no, like, they're like, yeah, let's go do it. Let's go make this. This is going to be fun. But then never saw like, well, people want to watch this. Like, who are we making this for? And I know that's directors don't have to say that. I mean, directors can go make their movies, their art. It can be for them if they want it to be. But I guess you just got to be prepared for the reaction that this film got and like the critical scores this film got. And it has fans, but I think they made it for them. And so you're not really thinking about the audience. You don't really always have to think about the audience, but I just think that's why these movies came out the way they did.
I mean, sure. It sufficiently makes sense for
Okay.
something that we don't have an answer for, you know.
But like
I
you and I go
you
do
brought up
something. John, you're like, you know what, John? Let's go chug some vodka. And you're like, yeah. And then we chug vodka and we're like, why do we do that? Like, why? Like, why? Like afterwards when we're just miserable, we're like, why did we do that? Like, I don't know, man. It just felt right at the time.
then you
So
get
it's
that
like,
story.
what?
Then we get to tell the story.
Yeah, exactly. And then we're like, wait, okay, that probably wasn't the best idea. We had a good time doing it. But now we're kind of looking back at it and we're like, yeah, that's probably a bad idea. So I think that's that from everything I've read from Tarantino, that's kind of what he's said about it. Not that he chugged vodka and thought about this, but that seemed kind of like the idea of it. But the car chase, you don't like the car chase at all? Do you not find the car chase to be thrilling or
No, I don't.
no?
I do not find it thrilling at all. I think I found it boring. That is the word.
Well, you know what I think is interesting, where I think Zoe Bell is just an incredible like athletic specimen human being, but that it was such like a story wise. It's like, oh yeah, she's on a car, she's gonna do it, and they have the car from Vanishing Point, and then we're just gonna chase her around and she's on it. But when you look at something like Ronin or the best car chase movies, or there's an interesting style to them and there's a narrative to them. I think this was just more like, hey, you know what would be a good idea? I put her on a car and have the car chase. So it never like even though technically it's great, the jumps are fine, it's grounded, but it's never it's based around an idea, not like the story.
Sure. Yeah, I
This is an
just never
interesting one.
cared. I just
What?
never cared. I was impressed. It's funny. It, I was impressed more like unexpectedly. This might go back to what you were saying about her on the roof of the hood of the car. But like I was more impressed like with some of the jerks that she took from like did that just dislocate her shoulder? Like in between cuts, did they reset her shoulder the way that she was like hanging on and almost like came off the hood? But the thing is that I'm reacting to that. I'm not impressed with the movie during that scene.
Hmm.
Yeah, it just didn't do it for me. Whereas Kurt Russell again saying how fun it was and then whining afterwards and then whining while he's being chased. I wasn't excited with them chasing him so much as him basically just being a, it sounds stupid to say, but like being a big baby.
Yeah, no,
like
he's literally being a big because he's a
like
bully, and now he's getting chased by these badass ladies, and he's just totally collapsed. Like you saw the power he had over Rose McGowan, and he loved it. And then this, like at night when he smashes into them, I think this one he got a little cocky and it turned on him, and like he's just a coward. He's like, my arm is broken. What an idiot, John.
Oh, by the way, what happened to Mary Elizabeth Winstead?
She just gets yeah, she gets left. I think she just hangs out with the guy.
That guy had all of the trappings of what I expect from a grindhouse movie of
Yeah,
that era.
yeah.
Uh,
I do like the shot though when Rosario Dawson just moves to the side and Winstead's right behind her. That's like a great setup. But yeah, she's stuck at that, especially since it's the water boy guy and the dude from Kill
yeah,
Bill. Like that's it's gonna be awkward for poor Winstead there in her cheerleader outfit.
yeah.
But you know what? I think you're right though with the tone. This one, I think Planet Terror has a much more consistent tone to it than this one. What would you rather prefer? Robert for a grindhouse double feature, each of them gets $30 million to make a movie, or each one gets a million.
That's a, oh gosh, only because of what we've seen in like the Blumhouse era, I'm tempted to say a million.
Because I mean, look what Robert Rodriguez did with El Mariachi. Like with he just had some thousands of dollars. That's that. So I guess my core problem I've waffled all over about this movie, but I guess my core problem was you have a grindhouse film that costs a lot of money, and that just doesn't work. Like you can't, and that's my problem with a lot of horror remakes, where even if they're successful, and I know you like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake, and I think it's suitably nasty, but you watch the original and you just feel disgusted. You watch this new one and you're like, well, it looks pretty good. They did a good job.
The new one I
Technically, it's
find
sound.
titillating.
Yeah. And it's like, it's sound, but you don't feel the grossness of what made or the psychological terror that made it. Like, it's really hard to remake a film that's based on a wildly gritty movie. That movie that came out, Speak No Evil. It's probably my least favorite film of 2024, and it's
Was that
based on
with Kane, the wrestler Kane?
no, that's like it's with
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm thinking of 2002. You
it's
mean James McAvoy?
yeah, that one I can't. I hate that movie, and but the original one that they made a couple years earlier, it's really messed up, and it's cruel, and it's mean, and it that's why it works though, is because how horrible it is.
The
But then when
European
they
original?
yeah, and so when they made Speak No Evil, the British Americanized version of it, they're like, oh yeah, we can't do any of that. We got to change it because it's different aesthetic. So we got to change it completely. And the Americans, you're like, we got to make it heroes. And then but I'm like, no, that takes away the point of the movie. So I think sometimes if you're going to remake something or call something grindhouse, you can't have it. You're recreating a super cheap movie that you loved. And so it's never going to be that thing. It'd be more interesting if they said, here's $10 and a banana. Like, good luck. Like, go shoot this movie. Don't get shot. So I think that's where I would have loved it, because you're more recreating something, and you're not going to go as, a lot of these people were just churning these things out. So you're almost intentionally making it bad, which never is as charming as a movie that tries to be good but still doesn't work. If that makes sense.
Oh,
So
that's how I felt during the Street Trash remake. A lot of times it actively felt like it was trying to be so bad that it's good, whereas the original simply was so bad that it's good.
right, and you can't recreate. So I think even if you do enjoy this film, they're just recreate. And listen, Tarantino's given a lot of props to stunt drivers. I think a lot of cool people are getting work. Zoe Bell got featured in it, which I think is awesome. I like Freddie Rodriguez a lot in Planet Terror, uh, but I also think, yeah, I don't know, you're just recreating a cheap grindhouse experience with a huge budget or a big budget. So I wish they would have taken like a million each, and it would have been a true experiment. But instead, this kind of just isn't. I'm talking like I dislike these movies. I still find a lot to enjoy in them, but I just don't think they're the most necessary. And I think it soured me a little bit with Tarantino kind of saying, like, yeah, we are probably being a little film snobby. when we made it. Any other final thoughts about this movie? Anything else you want to talk about? Like this is his one evil role. Uh, do you? I don't know. Anything else you got?
Not much. I'll say, like, I've written a lot of reviews where I write like, this movie wasn't for me, or I didn't even like this movie. I'll write things like that, but I don't regret watching it, or I'm glad that they tried to make it. Or no, well, they tried. I'm glad that they made it, because it's like it's important to like work things out, just like a chef in a test kitchen. And so, like you were saying earlier, that this seems like a good example of that for Quentin Tarantino. Um, just working out some creativity that he had to work out. For all we know, in ways that we can't really fathom, this could have helped him with other movies, lessons learned, choices made. Uh, I don't see it. I can't find that, but maybe when I watch his movies again in the future, I'll start to notice it, or maybe I'll never notice. But again, there are a lot of things I've seen that I consider to be misses where I'm like, yeah, I'm glad they tried that.
Yeah, and even if they learn from it, if yeah, I mean, I think we need cinema, and I think we need people to take chances with movies.
They're not taking many these days.
No, but you know what kind of sucks? I think there's a decent amount of original movies coming out, like Novocaine, Companion, um, Trap. There's a decent amount of films coming out, original films, but no one's really going to. They're not becoming huge hits. Which is Sinners is doing well, but I always want like new original films, and then new original films come out and they do fine. I don't know if they justify more movies, and it's kind of a bummer. I don't know.
We talked about this last time. Sometimes people just want to see simple things done well.
Yeah, simple things done well, really well,
They
like
don't want to have to
Smile.
think of they don't want to have to think about that, and think about it, and that includes thinking about whether or not this trailer is a movie that's for them or not.
And listen, Smile definitely does that well. But that'll come out after this. We have a Smile series, and John, we haven't figured out which Dolph Lundgren movie we're talking about yet. What are we doing next? So if everyone, it'll be after this
So,
episode.
okay, you've done it. I just don't remember how recent it was. How recently did you do Masters of the Universe?
I mean, I'd cover it again
But didn't you do it recently?
years ago.
Years? So how about Masters of the Universe?
All right, let's do Masters of the Universe. Why not? I
Ton.
like that. All right, done. There's a lot to talk about there. All right, Masters of the Universe next.
I haven't seen that in a long time.
Oh, that'll be an adventure for you.
And I yeah, and that is just like, boy, the gifts in my head of that. I'm excited to get back to it.
Oh, this Frank Langella crushing it. But all right, man. Well, hey, this was awesome. Thank you so much for joining me, John. This was great. And where can people find you?
John's Horror Corner, all the social media that I'm not too old to use.
And ditto for me. So for me, Mark Hoffmeyer, for John Levingood, this is Movie Stones and Flicks. We'll see you next week.